Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, and we're up to day 5 of the 30-day challenge. And today we're talking about stress or eustress. Eustress is essential. So we don't often hear the word eustress, but we do hear the word focus, we do hear the word intensity, we do hear the word in the zone. We hear where there is a certain level of pressure which is healthy. And you can use this idea of eustress as a great example. If you ever do any sport, you know that there is this sort of all-day pace, all-day swimming pace, all-day running pace, all-day, and that's called eustress, which means you're not doing nothing, but you're also not in the red zone. So eustress is what we call in the inner wealth work, love to, choose to, or desire to. Love to, choose to, or desire to. These three words come together to create a sort of a voluntary appetite to engage in something fully. And we know that there's no such thing as a half-hearted success story. So anybody who's committed in any form or another to doing something and they want a great result of it will know their appetite to do things well. Now, that appetite is not just limited to work. It's if you're going to do something well, have a great relationship. And if you can't have a great relationship, work out why. And if you can't have it with the person you're with, find someone you can. It's to be a great sports person. You don't have to win a gold medal at the Olympics, but you do your best and you perform at your best. And this is fun to engage in at a level of eustress. So work, when we say do your best, as we do in the deny, affirm, visualize part of this program, the success formula of podcasts and blog, we continually talk about doing a great deal with the world. In other words, giving incredible value, surprise people with the value you create, doing your best at work. And that means a certain intensity. You can tell by the way a person walks how much intensity is engaged in their life. A person who slothfully walks down the street with all day to spare has no intensity. They're probably experiencing a lot of stress because they're trying to walk too slow, they're thinking too much, they're going at a pace that's not really accountable for time management. So a person walks with intensity, talks with intensity, operates with intensity, loves with intensity, thinks with intensity. But that intensity, that inspirational intensity, is not stressful. Their hands are not trembling, their nerves are not shaking, they're not jittering about in their seat, they're not over-sugared, they're not operating on adrenaline. So now let's flip this conversation over and talk about what it looks like when you go too far. So when you're walking and you're almost on the edge of running because you're running late. So remembering the new on time is 5 minutes early. When you're going about your work as if the end of the world is going to come if you don't get it done. When you've got deadlines that you're so fearful of missing that you become stressed. When your behavior at home becomes moody. When you start to criticize and condemn and can't see the beauty in life. When everything starts to pale towards a time-managed, calculated clock of live or die, pass or fail, succeed or failure. When you're on that edge, you've gone too far. Eustress has become stress. And 90-something% of people on this earth die young of stress. So we need to manage this stuff. We need to know the difference between sloth, which is slowing down to the pace that is boring and life is just one big, long, monotonous thing looking for exciting things like emotions to change it, or the intensity where everything's going to happen, and if it doesn't happen, I'm going to cry, I'm going to burst into tears, it's really terrible. Or eustress. And eustress, as I said before, is inspiration, it is intensity, it is focus, it is in the zone, and it's in the zone all day, every day. It's energy conserving. In fact, eustress produces energy. Stress drains it. So we talk about infatuation, where a person sees more positives in something than there are negatives. They lose focus and they become infatuated. Now, an infatuated person is stressed. Infatuation is the very definition of stress, because infatuation leads to resentment. Elation, which is again another word for infatuation, elation leads to depression. So these polarized opposites, when a person is very bipolar, as we would call it. In other words, I just need to stop and vegetate and watch Netflix and see YouTube and watch movies all night long until 1 o'clock in the morning. And then in the morning, I'm going to wake up and go to work, and I'm going to work really hard and get everything done and get it done by the time 5 o'clock comes. And I'm going to get home and I'm going to come back to work. And I know I need to slow down and vegetate and meditate. This is stress. Eustress is a pace that you do all day, every day. And when I learnt swimming, I learnt a swimming style. What was it called? Total immersion swimming. And it's on the internet, and Tim Ferriss even learnt total immersion swimming. And they teach you a swim style which is called swim all day, which if you get it at a certain rhythm and a certain pace, it wouldn't matter if it's 1K or 50K, you can swim all day. It's a very, very beautiful way to be, but it's not totally relaxed. It's not what you think. It's not breaststroke or backstroke, just sloughing along. There's an intensity to it, which creates what's called a rhythm. So we're in a marathon. Life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And what we're trying to do from time to time is engage in the red zones, the sprints. There are those Fridays or there are those Mondays when the shit hits the fan and we've got to really put in that red zone effort. But for every red zone effort, there needs to be 6 days and 23 hours of non-red zone effort. But those non-red zone efforts are not white. All right? They're not sloth. They're not just chilling out and hanging out and drinking beers and going to barbecues where you drop into a state of human consciousness, or that's called unconsciousness. That is stressful. We talk about the workplace. Now, at work, they say always put your heart into things, put your heart into what you do. There's no such thing as a half-hearted success story. Put everything into it. What they really mean when they say that, and what I really mean when I tell you to do that, which is to exist in a state of eustress and be inspired and have intensity, is give 90%. Now, a person who's operating at 100% has gone to polarity, has gone to extreme red zone, has gone to the extreme of a sprint. A person who's operating in sloth, which is, I don't really know if I want to be here, I'm not sure this is the right company for me, I'm doing the job, but I'm not inspired by it. This person has gone to the polarity of stress, which is stress minus or stress plus. And nothing kills a person faster, would you believe, than nothing. When a person has no job, no career, no aspiration, no vision, no intensity to their life, they'll die faster than someone who has extreme stress. Now that's the polarity, and we're trying to find this middle ground. The middle ground for the human mind is balanced, centered, and calm. So calm doesn't mean calm like the top of a lake. Calm means the strength of what's below the lake, stillness. That's a very, very intense state of being, stillness. So I hope you've enjoyed this, the blogs and the associated conversation we're going to have today as you do your training. Will focus on the concept of stress versus eustress. This is Chris. Have a great day. Bye for now.